If you are hovering on the edge of starting a YouTube channel for yourself and is sitting there wondering what it actually feels like in the early days, this video is for you. It's been 2 weeks since I started myself, and I've currently done 5 long-form videos, 10 shorts, and gotten over 1,000 views already. So I have also learned more than I ever expected to have done at this stage. So I thought we should dive into what I've learned, what have changed already, and what I am planning next. So first, I just wanted to get some stats and analytics out of the way, like just a little reality check. But if you're not into the numbers, you can find the timestamps down below and move a bit forward in the video. But overall, like in the first week, I got 100 views, which is not bad for a totally new channel for a long form beginner. So I'm really proud of that. But then I changed my approach in week 2 and did way more content, which was also a lot more work. And now I actually just passed 1,300 total views in those 2 weeks. So as you can see, it really took off in week 2. I had 2 shorts that took off. Like one got plus 600 views so far, which I feel is pretty good for some of your first videos at all and as a beginner to this platform. And taking into account that my expectations were set for nobody watching my first videos. So that was really nice. I also saw that my most successful shorts are typically ones that will get max 10 views in the first 24 hours. But then it was like the algorithm would slowly pick up on them and push it out to more people. So they would slowly get more traction. Like the one I just mentioned that got plus 600 views now is one that I was actually really stunned about because it only got 8 or 9 views in the first 24 hours. So this is so different from like Instagram and TikTok, and that is still something that I really have to get used to, but it also makes me so much happier to see that the work I put into the content actually works for me for a longer time, so it doesn't just disappear after 24 hours. And the last stat I wanted to mention was that I also gained 4 subscribers. So if you are one of them, thank you so much for following along already and for supporting me and finding my videos worth watching, because a lot of work goes into learning a new skill, and I'm really proud of that one. Now, moving on to things I've learned so far. I will say that I think we should start off with the biggest reality check I have gotten so far, and that would be the emotional burden of creating long form videos in the beginning. Because I would say my expectations, like I did my research before I started and I saw a million videos that basically just say you have to stick with it, you have to post consistently, you have to put something out there, and then after a while things will pick up. So my thoughts were that I would just create, I'll double down, I would do the work, I would just make 7 long form videos a week to have something on my channel, because I also saw that bingeability is a big thing. So if you have something on your channel that people can watch after they watch the current video, then it would be all the more easier to grow your channel. But I did my first video, that is also the one with the most views. It got 16 views, which I also think is really impressive when your expectations were 0. I did that one, and editing took ever. So I really overestimated how much I could like research, script, film, edit, publish. And I drastically downgraded how much I would be able to produce in a week. I am aiming for 2 long form videos a week, but the longer I go, the more I really feel this statement about quality over quantity. And this is an example of that. But I will also say, in regards to editing, I am 2 weeks in and I already feel like editing is going by so much faster and it's so much easier. And not just because I got more practice already, but I would also say that I am used to filming content. So being confident on camera is not a new thing for me per se. But the confidence it takes to create long form videos is so different. So I can see that just 2 weeks in, I'm already making less mistakes that I have to edit out. And therefore, my editing experience is already so much easier. And I'm also starting to build a rhythm in creating and filming and finding ideas and just the general gist of creating long form content. The next thing I've noticed that I've learned just 2 weeks in is that I already have like mental cues for what kind of footage I would need while filming. So like thumbnails, what would I need if I wanted to repurpose this video? So all these kind of things. And that makes content creation even easier because I don't have to put up a photo shoot after I've done my video, because I already have the mental cues in my head for what I need to do and say and look like in the video to be able to produce multiple things from that footage. Then we have a personal one, because I've learned so much about my own workflow. If you don't know yet, I do have another business where I write and sell digital ebooks, like digital products. And for that part of my business, I really find that I am most productive during the first half of the day. Like I drop off my kids in the morning and then I just go home, work my ass off, take a long lunch break, and then just do some easier work after that. But with video creation, I'll tell you, somehow this creative work, I am so much more productive in the evening. So like after my kids are down for the night, I find it so much easier to just snuggle up in the couch with my computer, with my headphones, and just go into this editing hole. So that is new for me, but it also really shows that when you're doing something, if you really set your mind to it, just 2 weeks in, you'll notice the things that are working so much better for you. And of course, being new to this whole YouTuber world, I do a lot of research. And that means I binge watch a whole lot of different videos from a whole lot of different YouTubers to get the grasp of what I am doing, like the things I don't think is working that good or that I could optimize. I try to find a video on how others do that so that I can get some inspiration. And of course, I also try to see what competitors are doing so that I can get some inspiration, see where I'm headed, because I am not dumb enough to think that I could make the same content that they are making and get the same kind of success. But it's still nice to see like what is down the line for me if I keep going with this. And 2 of those videos that I've watched in the last 2 weeks really changed something for me and in my motivation, and that I really feel like I learned a lot from those 2 videos. One was by Ali Abdul, which I think is really good. He's talking about what he learned from being on YouTube for 8 years, which in itself is really like a big accomplishment. And the other is by Danielle Poulou. Don't know if I'm mentioning it correctly, but those 2 videos really inspired me. In the video by Ali, he shares that more than 80% of podcasts have less than 3 episodes in them, and less than 1% have more than 20 episodes recorded. And this really talks into the whole mindset. You just have to get started and then you just have to keep going, which is the exact thing that he said, but it really motivated me to just keep on going, because just 2 weeks in, I already find that there are things that are making me doubt myself. So this was a really nice reminder that you should really just focus on keep on going. And he also shared that if you stick with something for a decade, if you just keep on doing it for a decade, you are almost guaranteed to succeed in some way because you stuck with it. So like he was 8 years in, I am 2 weeks in, but my aim is really just to stick with it and see what this can bring. Now, with that being said, I have been doing public content for a while, and that also means that I have found a few tips and tricks and drills and exercises that I use to show up confident on camera, because that is definitely something you have to practice if you want to start a YouTube channel yourself. And in that regard, I will recommend watching my video, which is all about how to sound confident on camera, which I will link in the little eye up there. Or you can make a comment writing confidence on camera below, and I'll share my free ebook, Confidence on Camera, with you as soon as I see it. Now, in that same video, Ali Abdaal also shared that money can't be your only motivation for doing this, because it is not a strong enough motivator for you to make sustainable commitment to doing this for the long run. And I totally agree with that. I also think that, like, on a personal level, if I have to share my own thoughts, for me, making money off of these YouTube videos aren't like the true goal for me. I do feel like reaching the monetization requirement is a really big goal, but not for the income potential itself. More because the goal is 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours, which for me is like a personal goal that shows me that I stayed committed, I stayed consistent, and I really grew this business in another direction, which I would be so proud of. So, of course, if you find this interesting and you want to follow along on my journey, please do subscribe, and I'll do my best to share along the way. Because another thing he shared was like, during the pandemic, the internet exploded with creators sharing how to make money online. And again, he is totally right. And I don't just want to be another one of them. I do know about making money online. I do have a business creating digital products that I sell online. And of course, I'll share like tips and tricks and how to create a digital ebook, how to set up a digital storefront, because that is where my expertise lies. But I also really want to focus on the journey of creating itself. I want to share a lot more about the journey of creating this channel and how it grows, and like my stats and analytics and thoughts, just like this video, because that brings me a lot of joy. Now, moving on to what I learned from the video by Danielle Palou. She asked the question, who are you making a video for? And I really thought I had a grasp of what was my niche, who was my audience. But somehow this question really triggered something in me. It really made me self-reflect and question my approach to becoming a YouTuber, because I found that I do have a desire to share what I was missing when I did my research to try and leap into this whole adventure, because I want to be there for those who are so close to taking the leap and starting themselves, but who also just want a little sneak peek of what the first steps will look like. Because of course, every big YouTuber will agree that we all have to start somewhere. But I felt like I needed someone to show me what it would look like to just be 1 or 2 steps ahead of where I was thinking of going, instead of 1,000 steps ahead. So that is what I'm trying to create. And that is why I am sitting down and filming this video right now. And now moving on to the new strategies I will be testing for my own channel. The first one is a really simple one, which I will be trying to implement by the time you're watching this video. When I want to publish something on YouTube, I'll do so in private first for at least 24 hours, and then schedule it to go public after those 24 hours. Because what I've learned is that this will give the algorithm time to analyze your content and to understand it better, so that it can push it to a better audience for you, to really push it to someone who will benefit from watching your video. So that is definitely something I'm going to try out. Next, I learned that you could try and incorporate some of the most successful competitors in your channel tags on YouTube to become more associated with them by the algorithm. And if people search up those competitors, you will maybe show up in their search results. You have done your SEO correctly. And I feel like this tip is a hit or miss because since I'm still in the early phases, being associated with someone really successful could also be damaging for my brand and for my growth. But then again, I am here to take the leap and try things out, grow and show the real progress and process of growing this channel. Now, in regard to competitors, in the video by Danielle, she also mentioned that you would benefit from making a list of all of your successful competitors in your niche and then go in and analyze their channels. Look back like a year or two in their videos and write down the titles of their most successful videos. Then you should go into ChatGPT and write all of those successful titles in there and ask ChatGPT to analyze these titles for similarities to see what makes up a successful YouTube title in your specific niche. So that is definitely something that I'm thinking I should try out, because you could also make ChatGPT create one or more title formulas for your specific niche, which is so much better than me just saying, if you want to create a successful title, you have to write this, X, this, Y, this, because that would maybe be successful in my niche. But if you are thinking of creating like reading content, it might not be successful for you. So I really like this tip and I'm definitely going to give it a try and share my results with it once I've actually used it. So it could take a while. And now for the last new strategy I will be trying out. I have currently edited all my videos in Canva. And it's definitely doable. It's very beginner friendly, but of course it offers no advanced video editing. So for like as a challenge for myself, I thought I would follow, like I saw the YouTuber Vanessa Lau, which I would say is a pretty successful YouTuber in my niche, create a video of her using the program Descript, and that she could basically edit her entire video in 1 hour, if I remember correctly. So I was actually thinking that could be my next video, me trying out Descript and see if I can actually edit this recording in 1 hour and create a good and coherent YouTube video using that. And then I wanted to share some mindset shifts that really helped me in case you are drastically considering starting your own YouTube channel or creating content in general. So my first tip, my first lesson, mindset shift, whatever you want to call it, is that those who judge you, those who cringe and gossip about you trying this new path in life, those are typically the same kind of people who will never actually be courageous enough to try this out themselves. But those who have already been where you are and are successful now, they will not judge you. They will see what you're trying to do and they'll find it so courageous. So while no one's opinion but yourselves should matter, I will ask you, like, whose opinion would matter the most to you? Those who have nothing to do with what you're trying to do and who will likely never try it out themselves, or those who have been where you are and have become very successful? That's up to you. Now, the second mindset shift I want to give on to you is that I've learned that there are two different ways to enjoy what you're doing and thereby make whatever you're doing more sustainable to do in the long run. So either you do things that are enjoyable or you enjoy the things that you're doing. And of course, it's really hard to always enjoy what you're doing or only do the things that are enjoyable, because running a business is hard. So of course, just 2 weeks in, I'm also found that there are things that I really love doing and then there are the less fun things to do. Now, of course, I really enjoy doing this. I enjoy setting up digital storefronts. I enjoy writing my digital ebooks. I enjoy taking on a new adventure, which is what I see creating this channel as. But there are, of course, also things that are less enjoyable. for me too, but it has to be done. But I can also see that just by this mindset, either you do things that are enjoyable or you enjoy the things that you're doing. I have also started to alter my approach to how I do things. Like, for instance, just in these 2 weeks, I've gone from like only hearing deep focus hot music as like my background playlist to listening to music with lyrics I can sing along to and actually enjoy, because it does make things more enjoyable. It does make me enjoy the things that I'm doing even more. It does make my workday a bit longer because I'm taking more breaks, just because I'm not that focused for a longer period of time since I'm not hearing these deep focus playlists. And I also have some sing-along breaks, but it makes what I'm doing more enjoyable. And that is really important. So 2 weeks in, the growth might look small, but the learning curve has been massive. And if you want to follow along on this journey and maybe even start your own journey, consider pressing the subscribe button. That would mean the world to me. And then remember that all it takes is just one little step at a time. And you watching this video might very well be your first step.